Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks. Roger Wakefield here, and as you see, I got special guests in the house again, like every single day.
Good
Squirt,
morning.
welcome to the show.
Yeah, Squirt here, Henry or Randy. A lot of y'all out there know me as different names. I typically introduce myself as all three nowadays and tell anybody to pick whatever they want.
Welcome to the show, and we go live every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And man, we are right on point, as you see. I know you like that logo. I should sell those.
You should.
You know, or
Looks
maybe
kind of
just
like
give
you.
them away. TikTok, Instagram, how are y'all doing? Want to say hello? Got me and Randy in the house. We are gonna have fun today. Mr. Man says, "What's up, Roger?" It's another day in paradise, guys. We go live every day talking about topics of the trades because really there was nothing like this out there. So we're talking about national news, business motivation, personal mindset growth, tools, material, equipment, technology, union, non-union. We talk a little bit about it. We talk about new construction. We talk about service work, industrial construction.
Where's the work?
Yeah.
Social medias. How to use it in construction?
Do we talk about social media?
A little bit, just a little.
Talk about websites. We're going to do something new. I was talking to my website guy the other day. I want him to start jumping in here, and we're going to start reviewing plumbing company websites. And I say plumbing company, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, all the websites that we deal with. But remember, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro. If you want the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers, it's it. And we found out about the product, God, probably 5 years ago now, 6 years ago, something like that. Found out about it, told the guy then, look, I want your company because you're old and you're going to die one day, which is exactly what he told me. He says, I'm old, I could die tomorrow. But the funny thing is about it, we stayed persistent about it, talked to him, and ended up acquiring the company. It was at the beginning of 23.
The beginning of 23, towards the end of 22, was kind of whenever the transition happened.
And man, it's been really good.
It has.
We've done great. We've trained a lot of people. We've sold a lot of equipment, and we don't have a lot of people complain about it ever.
We don't. He made a great product. We've done some things to make it just a little bit better, beefed up some things on it, things like that. Really happy old man, and loves what we've done with everything. Every time I talk to him, he's just tickled pink and happy as can be, and so proud of what we've done with his product and how good we're making everything look. One of the first things that we had done is we beefed up the case because we know how plumbers deal with tools most of the time. In some of these trucks, things get banged around, moved around. It was kind of in a soft case. We put it in a nice industrial protective case.
It's pretty freaking cool.
So it's good.
We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Right now, let's jump into national news. President Trump's immediate actions impacting the construction industry. Now, those of y'all that don't know, the 20th was Inauguration Day, Monday.
Yep.
President Trump, who was elected in last November, he got in and he literally, as soon as the inauguration's over, he sits down with a pen and starts making changes. So, Randy, let's talk about it. On the first day back in office, says he signed executive orders with significant implications for construction.
Yes. First thing he did is he put a pause on the $300 billion in federal infrastructure funding for review. Now, this is mainly the electrical. This is the same thing that happened whenever Biden took over and put a halt on all pipelines. Being a pipe fitter, that affected me and a lot of the guys I knew real close.
Now, I want to talk about that, though, because, I was heavily involved in the union back when Biden got elected. I went to speak at the first annual Plumbers Council meeting in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yep.
So I've actually been to the Plumbers Hall of Fame, which is fantastic. But I remember they were talking about Biden getting elected, and they're like, look, he said that he was going to eliminate the pipeline and he's going to do it. And he's like, yeah, but he told y'all that before he got elected. And y'all still kept saying, vote for him, vote for him, vote for him.
Yep.
And they said, but the funny thing about Trump is Trump's getting in and saying, look, we want to work with y'all.
Yes.
So.
And that leads into the next thing, expansion of oil and gas infrastructure projects through Arctic drilling leases. We've known back then pipelines, Trump's about it.
Right.
That's what America was kind of built on. So he wants to uphold that in, keep true to history, and keep it going. And I understand that. Now, the big hold on the whole infrastructure, I'm not sure. Now, I do love that they're going to review it, try to figure out what really needs to be done, because we do know that our infrastructure is outdated and it does need upgrades, which is going to tremendously help a lot of tradespeople throughout the country.
Mhm.
But increasing pipelines again is also going to help lots of tradespeople throughout the country that have been hindered over the last few years. So I'm glad to hear that the pipelines are going to open back up. Being a pipe fitter myself, is man, that's a lot of work.
It is. It's a ton of work, and the union will get a lot of it. They have more welders than anybody, so that there's going to be great opportunities there. But also the withdrawal from environmental agreements, loosening regulations for energy projects.
Yep.
What's that going to do?
And that's going to make it a little easier to get some things moving and going. They're kind of re-looking at the regulations and throttling it back to where it's not as difficult to meet the requirements. I guess is kind of what I'm envisioning here. And whenever you're doing to those new switches and things like that, like we're talking about, all the efficiencies are reducing dramatically, kind of. And it's making it to where anything that was old and outdated is going to have to be replaced pretty much in the future. And that's good. But like we've always heard in all my time is, oh, the grandfather clause.
Right.
You know, hey, it was already there, things like that. Things like that I'm sure are going to come into play. But it's really going to have an impact because it's going to delay the infrastructure projects that are currently going on. Because with everything going to get reviewed again, that could cause delays and things like that, just like the pipeline that was going originally before. So that's going to be some things to kind of keep an eye out on and see if anything you're working on is going to be affected.
And I like this because with diversification into energy and private sector projects, that's going to help you keep an eye on everything and be able to bid work like that, but also keep an eye on the federal updates to know what's going on. Now, website review. Now let's talk about this. What you got here?
Man, this is Construction Dive. This is actually they have a newsletter I signed up for, well, a little while back now, and they do a daily newsletter. It's all about construction and what's going on throughout the country, different laws, regulations, things like that. Like we're always talking about, how do you stay informed on this? This is one of the ways that I also use to kind of just keep myself plugged in to what's going on out there that I'm not truly involved with on a day-to-day basis.
Now,
So
and this is great for construction.
that's it. That's it. It's huge for construction because that's going to give you all your industry updates on regulations and technologies. You want to know what's new that's coming out and you don't have time to get out and about, guys, sign up for their newsletter. They're going to send it out and kind of keep you up to date. I don't always have time to read them every day, and I understand that. We don't all have that. Try to read it on the weekend if you can. Catch up from the week. Just see what it was talking about because there are some really big topics that are brought up in there that we really want to hear about and want to be aware of.
And they have a newsletter subscription. You talked about it.
Yes. And they do a lot of, market trends. They do some project management tips and tricks, just different things for the business aspect or installers. It's going to help you all.
Guys, people ask me all the time, I talk about if you want to grow in your niche, if you want to grow in your industry and be one of the top people in it, get up every morning, study for 30 minutes to an hour about new things going on in your niche. If you're in construction, there's an opportunity right there. You've got a daily newsletter that comes out, right? Daily?
Yeah, Monday through Friday. I think there's a Saturday one also.
Daily newsletter that comes out. So you've got the opportunity to get in there, study, learn, see what's going on, and this is going to help you grow. If you want to be one of the top 5% of the people in your niche or in your industry, get up every morning and study it. Get up every morning and look at it. And I tell people, look, you can watch, if you're a plumber, watch my YouTube videos. Watch them every day. If you're an electrician, watch Electrician U. If you're a roofer, watch Roofing Insights. If you're HVAC, look at Mechanical Hub.
Yep.
There's YouTube channels out there that will teach you things. And if you're learning new things in your niche or industry, it's not that you have to know everything about everything, but now there's less that you don't know anything about. And I learned that from Warren Buffett. That's huge.
Yeah. Well, like that's one of the reasons that I signed up to this is it's not trade specific. And when it's not trade specific, that's huge.
All right, I'm playing with volumes here.
I see.
I don't know if yours is. good, or
It,
if you like that, but
I'm perfect.
I like mine right where it is. I like that I'm orange. Look 'em. Uh, okay, so this is the easiest way to stay informed.
It is. You know, like a lot of people are always asking, how do you stay in the know of all this stuff? We're always talking about doing peer groups, talking to friends, things like that. Sign up for every newsletter you can. And like one of the reasons I signed up for this is it's not trade specific, like I was saying. It covers all the industries because you kind of want to know everything that's going on. Because as a tradesperson, you work around all tradespeople, most projects that you're doing. You kind of want to have an idea of what they're doing in their world, even though you don't understand every bit of it and every part, and that's fine. Just to have a decent understanding of what part they're doing and they're responsible for helps you in your trade and what you're trying to accomplish, also.
And you're never going to understand everything in the trades. I mean, as long as you know that from the very beginning. People ask me all the time, they're like, Roger, you know it all. It's like, no, I don't. I'm still learning. So when I meet people that tell me, look, I've done this forever, I know everything about it. Like, I'll pull something out in front of you you're not going to know about. So I do. I enjoy that. And just want to make sure my wires stay.
Connections there, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it keeps fading every now and then. And again, I'm stretching this cord. So take that back around where it was. I want to jump into the comments for just a second. It says Ben Burnett says getting a lot of service calls for frozen water up here in Ohio. And guys, I want y'all to think about that. If they're getting calls for frozen water in Ohio and they're prepared for this, I mean, I don't know if y'all know, Ohio's up here and Dallas, Texas is down here. We're having the same problems here. Freeze breaks are starting to happen. It's been cold too long and people aren't ready for it. So pretty interesting. The mystery man says I can send you the one that I work for, the website for the company. I understand that. I will end up. I'm going to talk to my website and SEO guy, and we're going to start getting him involved with these calls to see what people are doing and how they're doing it. We're also trying to put together a package to help people because I work with Go High Level on their CRM. I think it's freaking phenomenal. But there's a lot of different things that we can look at and see what we can do. Ben Burnett says the only way, I guess he means Trump is impacting the construction industry is deportation. I disagree. But look, we don't have to. We all don't have to get mad at each other.
No.
You can think what you think. I can think what I think. It doesn't mean I hate you. I think people like that. It blows my mind. Well, I'm gonna unfriend you if you voted for the other color.
Yeah.
It's like then freaking unfriend me. I don't care. As Americans, we'll have to suck it up and actually do some work with our hands for once. Man, I grew up in the trades, brother. I've been working my hands 45 years.
I was going to say, I've never been scared of that one.
Yeah, that's one that I've been doing before. If you've got a job where you really hadn't been working with your hands, I mean, I don't know, maybe you got a computer job or something. Maybe you've got a good career.
To the office quick. That's great.
So man, I do. I love that and very happy for you. I'd have been smart enough to do something like that sometime. Well, let's talk about business growth, maintenance plans, and this is something that I didn't even know about before I joined a best practice group. And most plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing companies don't even know what a best practice group is, and it blows my mind. But best practice groups were so good for me because I started learning and just things that I didn't even know that I didn't know. But maintenance plans, I literally met companies that had, say, 1,000 maintenance plans out there. Okay. They're charging $29 a month. Imagine $29,000 a month coming in to stay top of mind with a customer. You go out twice a year. You do a cleaning on their unit. And these are mainly HVAC companies. But if it's a plumbing company, you go out and you do a 360-degree inspection. All they're asking you to do, I want y'all to think about this. All they're asking you to do is look at my system, tell me if something's wrong so I can pay you to fix it. And I'm going to pay you $29 a month to come out twice a year and look at it. Guys, this is a no-brainer. If you're not doing maintenance packages, you should be. Because regular inspections and preventive maintenance services, if you come out and clean their furnace twice a year, fire up the heat to make sure it works, you turn on the AC to make sure it works, it's amazing. But then they get a little bit of bonuses. They get discounts for emergency calls or additional services. Great. You give them a discount on the labor for the additional services, not the materials. You can't cut that down. You're going to lose your money. but you give them discounts on the labor for any additional services. But I love that too, the discount for emergency calls. We used to tell them you get one free emergency drain cleaning.
That's nice.
9 out of 10 houses don't ever need a drain cleaning. Matter of fact, it's probably more than that. It's probably 49 out of 50 don't ever need a drain cleaning because they do things right. So you're really not giving them anything, but you're giving them peace of mind. If you have a drain clog and it's an emergency, we'll come out for free. We want to fix it. Now, what are you going to do when you're there? You're going to run a camera down. You're going to find out why did that drain clog. Now they may need a sewer line replacement. The opportunity to stay top of mind with this customer is crazy. And it's easy to do. And they're easy to renew contracts. One thing that I did learn that I'll teach everybody is do it with checks where it's the check it automatically withdraws from the account. People normally don't look at their account enough to know that they need to renew that every year or every 4 years or however long it is. Checks renew automatically. Credit cards, they may have to renew. And at the end of the year, they may decide, look, I didn't use this. I'm going to cancel. I'm not going to renew. So to me, I love the idea of doing it on a check, an ACH, an automatic withdrawal. But Randy, you've done some research on this. How do you think a maintenance plan would boost business?
Well, so like what I'm thinking is everybody has some type of membership now. Netflix, Amazon, whatever. These are all convenience and entertainment things like that. A maintenance agreement with somebody that takes care of your home, your comfort every day, that's way better than entertainment.
Your most
for
valuable
me.
investment.
That's it. Because that's what keeps your family comfortable at home. So guess what? I would rather pay that $29 a month for somebody to keep my home running smoothly with no interruptions than to be able to just go home and watch movies all the time in a house that is not very comfortable, things like that, because then you can enjoy your other memberships. So this isn't something to be scared of. It's something to truly offer your clients because it's the way the world's going. And if, like you were saying, that customer that didn't use it, well, hopefully, if you're doing these membership services, you're actually reaching out to that customer and trying to get yourself in that door once every 6 months
Yeah.
to do an inspection because it's part of your job too to push that membership to keep it moving for that customer so it is beneficial so they never hit that thought, oh, I didn't use it this year.
All right.
It's
Let's jump into service work because
Love it.
this ties into it.
It does.
Because that's really what helps feed your service work. Because if you're doing that inspection, you find something wrong, and this helps you prepare for seasonal challenges in plumbing. Now, think about this. If you know in plumbing, hey, you know what? Right before tax time, right after tax time, we're normally not as busy. You prepare for that. So now when you do those inspections, you say, look, we're going to do them in April. You're not charging them for that inspection. You're going out and doing it for free. But now if there's something wrong, you have the invoice you can leave or an estimate to say, hey, look, your water heater is 8 years old. It's a 6-year water heater. It's really time to replace it. We know we've flushed it. We know we've done this. But you can recommend pipe insulation and heating systems for exposed plumbing, which is something we need to do a video of. We need to go to my house and do one on putting heat tape on those lines up in my attic.
Yeah.
Offer
sure.
winter prep packages, including outdoor faucet covers. That's amazing. And me, something, and I've got them at my house. You know the little exhaust vents for the vent hoods, for the fans?
Yeah.
All that come out the side of the house? Well, birds get in mine. And they get in there and they live there. And, I mean, twice a year you hear the birds chirping. They're doing all this. I kind of like it. Some people don't, but I know they're filling that thing full of bird nest and dead birds, the ones that don't survive, and all kinds of stuff like that. And I've got these little grate covers that you screw on it. It's a big, like a big sieve. It's just a big mesh piece of plastic where the birds can't get in there, but the air keeps coming out. And I need to put those on, but that would be a thing that you could do for your maintenance deal. Say, hey, look, I've got these. You want me to go ahead and put them on? Educate your clients on preventing frozen pipes. If you're doing an inspection and you realize, your bathroom upstairs over there was on an exterior wall on the north side of the house. So sometimes in the winter, it's like, hey, we might want to make sure it's getting down to 0 degrees like it has in Dallas, not in Ohio, but here in Dallas. Here's what we need to do. We need to go ahead and turn this faucet on and let it drip when it gets down this cold. But when you can make people aware of stuff like that, then when they do have a problem, you're the one they call and they're like, man, look, I didn't listen. I messed up. I've got a problem, but now I need you to come fix it. And you know exactly what they're talking about. So little things like that become big things because I've got a lady that still calls me because I went to look at a job moving a laundry room. And when I did my 360 inspection, I told her, I said, look, you got two water heaters in the attic that are 14 years old. They're 6-year water heaters. It's time to change them out. And she's like, yeah, but I'm not worried about that right now. I want the laundry room because I want a bigger closet. So she was literally, she had a closet here. She had a laundry room here and her garage was out here. She wanted to move the laundry room out to the garage because she wanted to enclose that other laundry room, which it'd be like me tearing out my office and say, now the studio's bigger. What she did though is she focused on the laundry room. The water heater erupted that Friday, like 2 days later, while she was out of town. When she came home, her 2-story vaulted ceiling and the ceiling in her kitchen right next to it were all down on the floor. And she said, I should have listened to you.
Yep.
All we
Yeah,
can do is warn people.
that's it. Like even that one, it's over twice the age that it probably should be. So you should really go, okay, that's an immediate red flag. Yes, let me prioritize that over everything that can lead to a major disaster. And sometimes you have to explain that to these customers because they don't really understand what that means when a disaster happens. And something like that, if you pulled up a picture, hey, look, this is the devastation it could cause. Just kind of
Yeah.
warning you and letting you know because you pay me for this membership or whatever, like we were talking earlier. Let that customer know as much as you can, but that's all you can do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Boy, not at all.
Same thing with things like this.
That's good stuff. Now, the best way to handle frozen pipes, because remember, we're talking about preparation here. We're talking about preventive maintenance instead of plumbing repair.
Yep.
And having things like that. I remember as a young plumber, one of the first calls that I got calling was a customer in Highland Park saying, look, we got a frozen line. And it had frozen before because literally you could walk outside and there was a panel that had already been cut. So you undid the screws, pulled that thing off. It's like, yep, it's frozen. Well, I didn't know what to do. I'm out there following it with my torch. Go in, turn the valve on, make sure other valves are open in the house, and get out there with a torch and warm it up. Nowadays, I would probably have one of those blowguns that we use for like removing vinyl letterings.
Yes.
It's a high temp. It's like a paint remover or something. Something like that would be a great thing to have. Those thaw kits that they have, those are a great investment. And you would say, well, Roger, you're in Dallas. Do you really need a thaw kit? Yeah, probably not, but it's a good thing to have. So let's talk about materials, equipment, tools, and the advances in digital measuring devices because tools have changed a lot.
Man, it's huge. Even like towards my last couple of years in the field, literally, I was using a digital rangefinder because I was doing pipe fitting in large warehouses and things like that. So to get that elevation measurement for a hanger, that meant going and getting a lift, getting another guy, go up, pull the measurement, somebody hold it down, do all these things. But I could run through there with my rangefinder, set it on the ground, shoot a laser up, get it where I actually wanted it, push the button. Here's the exact measurement.
Yep.
Done. One man running around, no lift, no ladder, no nothing. That's huge. That saves so much time and effort for all parties. And so laser tape measures, digital angle finders. This is one of my favorite things. I used to have the big block that you have to put on because I did a lot of pipe fitting. So I put some things at 30-degree angles, things like that for some locations. Well, you've got this big block, but if you've got a pipe there, then you've got to put it way up here. You've got to put some extension or something to be able to carry that out farther. These digital ones are small, compact, so it's actually going to tell you pretty quick. And there's sometimes I've even used my phone and downloaded an app because I needed something on 5 degrees, but my pipes were too close and it had to be on this top, but angled at 5 degrees.
Yep.
So it was like, man, I don't have anything. Hold on. Let me download an app. This is going to get me close enough. And, I'd use that occasionally. But they're really making a major advancements in this. And a huge one, like we're always talking BIM, 3D scanners. I've seen these guys working with the BIM department and stuff. They go through an existing place and they'll send cameras through. You can walk the space sitting at your desk.
Yeah. Never have to go in the room or
Never
in the
have to
building.
go in the room, and you get to see everything, just like you're actually in there, based on where they took pictures and scanned and everything.
I love
It's
that.
amazing.
So look, how do you use digital measuring devices to improve your efficiency? It's things like this. It's having the right tool with you on the right job at the right time, doing the right thing. If you're not learning about these tools, and I keep going back to get up every morning, learn your niche, learn your industry. Watch videos like this where we're talking about new equipment and then look it up and say, look, I don't have that. That would help us. There's a lot of people that'll just listen to this and say, oh, yeah, that's out there. That's jets and stuff. It's in the future. No, guys, it's not. It's here
Now,
now. I remember when I helped build the Brant offices probably 15 years ago, we were building a BIM room then. We were building a BIM theater, is what we built. And it's such a different world now. They can literally draw a building, they call it lean. Literally, they can build a building, every piece of pipe, every piece of furniture, every detail in it on a computer, and you do not have any
collisions.
collisions in the field. Used to, it was, hey, get it close. The guys in the field will figure it out.
Yep.
Well, it takes 2 plumbers, 2 electricians, and 2 HVAC techs standing there in the field an hour or 2 to figure it out, where it can take a guy on a BIM computer 15 minutes. So it's pretty neat stuff.
Easier to move those things on the computer than it is in real world. We all have figured that out, hopefully, at this point.
Yes, it's true. Now, Newman's Concession says it's a cold one for sure in Ohio. Yes, it is. OG Gary, what is up? Says, hey, Roger, last time we spoke, I was an apprentice. Now I'm a journeyman. Look, I'm going to, well, I don't know what noise it made, but I'm trying to hit. Oh, you know what?
Good.
Right
there
there.
it is. Yep.
There we go. Congratulations, OG Gary. What was this? Just want to hear it again. Okay, so I
Rare.
got your attention. Frozen Pops all day. And then
But
Q Brown says, you know that people want to squeeze all the life out of something. Everybody wants to, but here's the thing. Look, there's times that we've got to upgrade. There's times that we got to say, look, that water heater is 14 years old. Me, even in my house, I can wait because mine's kind of out over the garage, not over the garage, in the garage in a little niche out. So I did wait too long. Mine started leaking. It leaked inside the laundry room. So I'm like, man, I messed up my baseboard. And I'm a plumber. You would think that I wouldn't wait. So anyway, Randy, talking about leaking, let's talk about Leak Pro.
man, we want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's video. It lets us keep doing this every day, coming out and talking trades with all you folks out there. We do build the best leak detection system on the market for professional plumbers. Easy to use. It's the equipment, one wire to your headphones, one volume knob that controls the whole thing. If it's something that could help you or benefit you in what you do every day, check us out at www.leak-pro.com. We also do an in-person training here in Wiley, Texas. It's a 2-day training. We teach you how to locate lines. I've got 11 leaks out here under a slab. Once you learn how to find those, you will be able to pinpoint leaks no problem, I assure you. We also work on some of the marketing for your company and your leak detection for this service, adding in.
Okay, now wait, we don't work on it. We tell you how to do it the right way because we figured that out.
True. And, we can introduce you to some tools that'll help you get that accomplished and going. But we also do sewer isolation test training where you can actually go in and test a sewer line from outside of the home with the double clean out and test individual branch lines in the sewer system off of that. And that's just a huge thing. If you need more or you want to give me a call and talk some more about it, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO.
It's a hard number to memorize.
It is.
8888. I know you can find it. MEP, Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing. And it is Wednesday, so we're talking HVAC. Retrofits for energy efficiency. Now, a lot of service technicians at smaller companies, they want to come out and be the cheapest guy, so they're going to sell you the cheapest equipment. I want to point this out because a lot of people talk about these bigger mechanical contractors and say, well, they way overcharge people. You don't understand what they're selling because they're coming out and selling you improved indoor air quality, a higher SEER unit, and they're making it where you spend less each month on your monthly bill. And that's what people don't get. I've literally talked to people like, man, those people came out and ripped my parents off. Well, what'd they do for them? Well, they installed a new system. Okay. Do you know what SEER it was?
What's that?
What do you mean? Well, you said that somebody else gave them a different price. Was that a 16 SEER and this is a 23 SEER? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, this one costs more because it's going to cost them less to run each and every month, and they're probably going to gain their money back twice as fast. This one here, it's less right now, but you're going to pay more each and every month because it's not near as energy efficient. Did they change the evaporator unit inside too? I don't know. Well, it's like, okay, you're comparing apples to oranges, and you're saying, I hate these people who sold them the oranges. Yes, they taste better, but they should have just bought the apples. No, not necessarily true. So go ahead, Scarlett. Let's
I was
talk
gonna
about
say,
it.
and like that's huge right there. I was an estimator, and like that's one of the first questions whenever somebody be like, "Oh, well, somebody came in at half your price." It's like, well, what equipment did they actually offer you? Because I assure you, it's not what y'all actually asked for. Because I know the options that y'all gave. There's no way they got the price that they gave you using what they were told to. So you may look into that, um, because it's a question on did you pay more on the front end or over time? Do you want to pay extra over life because you're going to leave it in there for let's squeeze as much life as we can? I'm going to leave that thing in
You
there for
bet.
30 years. Well, guess what? You paid extra for that last 20 years that you could have covered that first install, had it all covered
You know,
on that
and that's
initial.
a good way to put it because I've seen people that have water heaters that are like, look, that water heater is 24 years old. Like, yeah, how much hot water do you get out of it? I can take a shower most of the time. Okay, you've got a 40-gallon water heater that's giving you about 15 gallons of water. So you're heating up all the sediment in the bottom each and every day and keeping it hot all day long. You really think you're getting your money's worth by milking that water heater? And they're like, absolutely. Jesus, please
Yeah,
help these.
yeah, you're losing like crazy. I hate to say, I'm not a plumber. I'm just a reality brain kind of guy, and you are losing so much because there's so much in there that's taking space that it's having to heat up all that stuff before it can even start heating your, and that is worst efficiency that you could possibly have.
So what you want to do, you want to replace outdated units with high efficiency systems. And my recommendation, get the highest efficiency system you can get. It's going to help pay off for a longer amount of time. Install smart thermostats. I was on a cruise last week. I'm literally turning down the temperature in my house. I didn't turn it off because it was freezing outside, but I'm turning it down. I don't need it 70 degrees when I'm out of town. And then ensure proper duct sealing to prevent air loss. One of the most important things a good company does is they don't just come out and take out the unit and hook everything right back up. They check that duct, say, hey, you got 3 holes in it here. The rats ate through it over here, and part of your air is blowing out in the attic. Well, I love it when I'm working up there, but that's not what I wanted to do all year long. So, Randy, what is the most common challenge in HVAC retrofit?
Uh, it'd probably be retrofitting without disrupting existing systems. You really have to plan exactly what you're going to go in, shut down, and do so that you don't take down any more or anything longer than you really need to. If like a lot of times I see guys, they'll come in, they'll put a whole new unit in before they even demo the old unit out, and they'll just run some duct over to tie into the old so that that person didn't have much downtime. Now, this was for an older lady, things like that. And, guys will go above and beyond to help that customer whenever they need. And, we're here in Texas, so it's always hot. Whenever the AC's down, it's horrible. We all know that.
Oh, it sucks.
So that's it. Like, we know all HVAC guys, you do not get a day off in the summer. I'm sorry, but guess what? Thank you so much for what you
Oh,
do.
yeah. Love you guys.
That's it. We appreciate it because you keep us comfortable in our homes, and it's huge.
All right. So we talk about this a lot, and this is one of my favorites because I got to know Don Ahern with Ahern Equipment Rental. He's got Snorkel and Extreme, and they're building modular businesses. They're building it in Las Vegas, and they're shipping it around the country, and it's done really, really cool. Let's talk about modular construction meeting the need for faster growth.
Yeah, like we've talked about a couple times on the show, prefab areas. You know, I used to love that in pipe fitting. If I could actually just set up a little prefab area and just sit there and do pipe and
You can get
push it
twice
out
as much work done.
and roll it out, I can get twice as much work done
Yep.
because I control that little space. Nobody's entering my space. This is my prefab area. I know that no trade needs to be in this space for a long time. So I will not be disrupted, and that will keep my work all going smooth as it can be. These modular construction places, it's the same thing. You're building all these in this controlled environment. And the way I envision this is it's an assembly line. These buildings are rolling down from trade to trade. Everybody's doing their part, and then it's passed down, and it finally shoots out the end of the building, a complete building.
And they're doing it a little bit different in Vegas. They've got the building set up just like it would be installed. The plumber comes in, puts the underground in. Carpenters come in, put the flooring and walls in. Electrician comes in, starts pulling wires through it. The HVAC guy comes in ahead. Plumber comes back in and sets his fixtures. Electricians comes in and sets theirs. So they bounce around from building to building right there in
Yep.
one big warehouse.
Yep. This little rotation. Yeah.
There's no rainy days. There's no bad weather in there. It's 70 degrees every day.
That's it.
It's not a bad deal. Put your headphones in. Enjoy your job. Turn on the music overhead, whatever it is.
Yes.
It's not too bad. But residential, they're doing prefab homes for the affordable housing market.
Yeah. This is becoming huge. Elon Musk is involved in this. Lots of guys are involved in this. It's a home that you roll out to the property and you unfold it, fold the walls out,
The
bolt
walls are
everything
actually just
together,
fold up,
and
click,
boom,
clip, clip.
it's
Yep.
done. And it's not a home that's the size of a trailer. No, 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 no. It expands to triple that size. Put a couple of them together. These things can get really big really fast.
And we've looked at
So,
the Connex buildings and how we can tie multiple ones together because we're working on plans. We need to talk
We are.
about that on the event center, but we're working on things that we want to do there. So yeah, there's great opportunity. Now, commercial, quick turnaround offices and retail spaces. I told you being at Ahern, I got to see where they're building restaurants like Dutch Brothers Coffee, Taco Bell, stuff like that. So cool. Also doing healthcare.
Yeah, well, like I was going to say, one of the things I kind of noticed, if y'all can recall, COVID. A lot of these COVID test centers, it was a modular construction building they threw outside of somewhere, and that's where everybody went
Yeah,
to
they
get
put it out in the
tested.
parking lot.
It's just this little office space.
Yep.
That's all it is. It was air conditioned. It was controlled. It was perfect. They just ran power to it. Boom. I don't think they had bathrooms in there, but they had a building right there for those. But being able to do that just on the fly and throw it up and boom, here we go. You got a space. I can remember like the old security shacks. That used to always just be built on site, and it's kind of a weird thing because it's out so far. So it's like, okay, we got to do concrete. We got to do this. We got to get a guy out there. Oh, we need somebody to look at the water. We need this. Guys, now all of those pretty much get shipped in on a truck, pulled off, and set down. It's done. There you go. Tie the power in. Over. Or water. Anything it needs out there in that security building. They're putting bathrooms in these now. Everything rolls down the road, gets dropped off at the job site, complete.
No, and I love that. And I love what we're fixing to talk about. We're going to instructor training here and teaching soft skills. And soft skills, and I don't like the word soft skills. You better be good at this. And things that you got to be this good at aren't soft. I like human skills. I like personal skills. I remember hearing somebody talk about it recently, and I think it was an article on LinkedIn. And I went in and I looked at it and read deeper into it, and it's talking about the people that make the most money in the world are good at one thing: emotional intelligence. And that's what soft skills is. Learn how to understand how other people are feeling or how to change the way they're feeling. But emotional intelligence is huge. And if you're not reading it, if you're not studying it, if you're not thinking about it, believe it or not, Dale Carnegie talks about it and how to win friends and influence people. And that is where it is. But soft skills like communication and time management are crucial for apprentices' long-term success. I think every apprentice, no matter what niche or industry, should be going through soft skills. Now, Julie has Today's Professionals. Go to todaysprofessionals.com. That's what she teaches. Back then, when she learned it, it was called etiquette and protocol training. How do you act when you go out to dinner? And training people and stuff like that. And really, that's where I got the thing of personal skills, not human skills. But let's talk about it. What different things do you think tradespeople need the training in to become better? Because guys, the more we communicate, the more we understand, and they call it time management, but really it's time management. It's, hey, if we have a meeting at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be there early. Not show up at 10:15. So, man, gee, I'm sorry. And I deal with this with speakers all the time. You get these speakers that say your time is up at 10:40. Well, at 10:39, you tell them you got 1 more minute. Are you like, yeah, it's going to take me 5 more minutes to finish up? No, I'm unplugging your freaking microphone. You got one, oh, your time just ended. Boom, you're
Bye.
done. Bye. Because here's what you're doing. When you do that, you're interrupting one other speaker's time. And I have seen speakers not get to speak their full time because the sorry people before them had no understanding of time management. They don't know how to manage their own time, so they screw with somebody else's. Your customers are the same way.
That's it. Like one of the things I was a field guy for a long time. I'd been to some lunches and stuff with clients with GCs, things like that. Whenever I moved into the office, they gave us access to this training portal. And it was funny because I found myself watching a video on lunch etiquette for business and how you're supposed to act, what you should order, things like that. You know, you base it all on whoever invited. And it was like, wow, like being in the field, I never thought about these type of things. And it's like, wow, that is some stuff that is interesting to know. And I would like my guys to know some of this, to know how to act when you do a celebration luncheon and stuff. Hey, here's some of the things that we expect. You don't have to do it, but guess what? You don't have to be here working either. So it's your choice. Here's what we expect. Here's what we want you to learn. Here's what we want you to know. So teach these things. Communication is one of the most important ones that we all kind of suck at, and we're all trying to get better, hopefully. Keep working on communication. Let that be one of your main points. What you're trying to build the most is communication on the internal and the external between you and all the customers. It's huge and important, and it's really important to teach that early.
And one of the best 5-star reviews we ever got was from a customer that things didn't go great on their job. But they said, you know what was neat? Y'all communicated with us. The plumber communicated with us. Your office communicated with us every step of the way, and we understood why. So instead of waiting till the job's over and say, hey, this job's going to be $2,000 more, and they're like, wait, what? It's like, well, we told you that there might have been a problem that we ran into. We did. And now it's $2,000 more. Instead of that, it was, hey, look, I'm going to let you know we hit a problem. Now, we're trying to work to find out how to resolve this problem, but we've definitely hit an issue, and I just wanted to let you know about it now. And if you'd like to climb under the house and look at it, I'll show you exactly what it is. If not, I can show it to you here on the phone. You're like, yeah, I don't want to climb under there. Just show me on the phone. So stuff like that is huge. But proper time management and prioritization is huge too. Because if you tell this customer, we're going to be done with your job Friday, you need to be done Friday. I don't care what it takes. If you're not going to be done Friday because you're running something else, you better tell them about this on Tuesday.
As quick as you can.
Because waiting till Friday is not when they want to hear it. And this also helps you build confidence through real world scenarios. Practice this. Practice this with your guys when they come in. So, hey, look, and man, I met a guy that was really good at role playing. He literally, when his guys came in, he'd call them like once a week, like, hey, come here, tell me your credibility statement. And you just walked up and started talking. Don't think about it. Don't say, well, you know, if I'm walking, no, let me hear it right now. You don't have time to think about it. You need to know your credibility statement more than anybody else. And focusing on soft skills and apprentice training will enhance professionalism and improve job site dynamics, benefiting the entire team. And that is
Lori over
huge.
there.
First of
Down.
all, yeah. Lori says, I agree. Don't like the term soft skills. I think it sends the wrong message. To have high EQ is a vital success. And speakers are horrible at this. Drives me crazy, so disrespectful. And, you know, Lori was on the marketer's cruise that I was on, saw the exact same thing that I'm talking about. It's like, look, when you penalize other speakers because the speakers ahead of them messed up, you should have penalized the ones that messed up, and that really bugs me.
That's yeah, because that's one of the major reasons of teaching this is you want to look like a professional. If you're that speaker on stage, you want to be the professional that ends on
Yeah,
time. Not,
every
oh, I
time.
need an extra 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, no.
And if they don't have a timer for you, learn how to read a watch. That's what you have one for. Put a timer on your phone. Stick it in your pocket when it goes off. Say, hey guys, I set my timer. I've got 2 more minutes, so I need to go ahead and wrap this up. That way you're taking control.
That's
Rainwater harvest.
I was
Man,
going to say,
I gotta
specialize
tell
in.
you, I gotta tell you, I love this one.
I know, and that's why I was like, you know what, this is great for today. Let's do it. And this is something that we're talking about, possibly doing on the YouTube channel here
absolutely.
before long because we know it's coming.
And it is coming.
It is. This is huge. Guys, I did some research one time whenever I was looking at water qualities. You know, some of the cleanest water ever comes falling through the sky, cleaner than filtered water. Clouds are the best filter.
And not even
Imagine that.
clouds, just the atmosphere
Just
itself.
the atmosphere doing what it's supposed to do. Removes all the little particles and parts that we're always trying to get rid of. Rainwater collection is huge. And it's really gaining popularity because it's super sustainable.
Oh yeah, guys. There's a map of the United States. You can literally look up rainwater fall annual amounts, and you literally go through and you look at it. I remember at the time, which is almost true, it showed that this part of Texas, which is where I was being taught, Green Plumbers USA, gets 36 inches of rain a year. And Eddie Wilcutt, the guy teaching it, says, but you don't want to be here the day they get it. Because when we get flooded, we get flooded. Ask Houston about it. Houston probably gets it worse than we do. But to be honest, rainwater harvesting is something we should all be looking at because you can use it for irrigation. You can use it for household use. Imagine if, and it's going to lead to more work for plumbers to get good at this because you're going to take the gray water that comes out of a house, collect it. You can also capture the rainwater. You need to filter it. You need to make sure that you're not getting salmonella in it, anything like that. But now you can bring that water in and flush your toilets with it. Things where people aren't going to be washing their hands, drinking, or cooking with it. So you can use it for irrigation and flushing your toilets. Brand Engineering, we use rainwater harvesting for urinals, for toilets, for things like that. This also reduces the strain on municipal water supplies. So it really strikes me as funny that states like Colorado says, we own the rain. You can't catch it. Blows my freaking mind. And rainwater harvesting is also eligible for green building initiatives. So you can get incentives back for installing rainwater systems, for using rainwater. Guys, it's like they're paying you to use water and save money. So kind of go figure that one out. It's huge, but the main benefit is it reduces your water bill. It supports eco-friendly living. And people ask me all the time, Roger, how do we do things greener? Great way to do it. And this also makes a valuable addition to clients. If you can literally just take their gutter system, feed it down into rainwater barrels, and teach them how to irrigate with it, and it's huge. I remember going to Ahern Mechanical when I almost got snowed in Chicago one year, or Milwaukee, so I couldn't go to Chicago. I went up to Ahern Mechanical up in Wisconsin, and they use rainwater. They collect it, and that's what they use throughout their building. They have a water purification system installed. So you can use rainwater for drinking water. You can shower in it. You can do so many things, but it's something you need to start looking at and studying to make that happen. And once you do it, it's huge. Let's talk social media. This is one of my favorite topics each and every day. If y'all don't know that, and TikTok, Instagram, if y'all got questions you would love to have answered, jump over to YouTube, look for Trade Talks 2.0. That's where we're at.
That's it. So roofing. Okay, I was doing a little research here. We're always talking roofing insights. Our buddy Dimitri, great at long form videos,
Yeah.
super in depth and detailed. Something that I noticed though is most roofers are succeeding at short videos.
Great way to grow a business.
It's humongous. Today we're kind of spotlighting Roofers Helper, the Roofers Helper, the channel. I found a short on there, Slate Craftsmanship from Ryan Edgar Roofing. And they're just kind of spotlighting a company out there. And is what this specific short is is you're watching this guy and he's taking his slate roofing tile and he's cutting the edge for this angle on this roof. But in the video, you can see the experience behind this guy, the skill that he truly has. Because he just takes like a piece of angle iron that's there or something in this slate, and he just takes this little hammer
Wow.
and bends it off, breaks it off, and then he makes this perfectly smooth edge, pops it down, and throws the nail in it. And it's just like, oh my gosh. If it's something you don't deal with, that is amazing. But to show these little things off that we do in our normal day to day
Mhm.
that most people never see, showing these little bits and clips can go viral sometimes.
You know, and another neat one, Architectural Sheet Metal 101. Same things. And they used to jump into the live streams a lot. But the way they do things, I mean, I'm just intrigued. I watch it because I love metal roofing. I love those standing seam roofs. But Architectural Sheet Metal takes it to another level and he shows you all the little, well, I do this so this doesn't happen. Like, oh, wow. And that's things that most people aren't going to tell you. So to get in and get to see what people do and how they do it, but becoming a master of your craft, no matter what craft you do, I can tell people, look, I'm a master plumber. There's a lot of things I think I'm freaking really good at. There's a lot of things, you know what? I don't do a whole lot of it. People bust my balls all the time because of my braze joints. They're like, oh, you used way too much of this, way too much of that. You know what? When I learned to braze, it was on med gas systems.
Yep.
You fill that cup. You fill that whole thing or you don't pass your test. And I got good at it. I got really good at it. When I took the med gas training course in the union
Yep.
here in local 100, there's 12 people in it. The end of the first day, I'm the only one that passed my braze, but I already knew how to do it. I had done sprinkler work, so I knew how to braze.
Yep.
It ain't the prettiest. I'm gonna tell you that. I don't try to be pretty, but my crap don't leak.
That's I was a pipe fitter, so I'd work with a lot of welders.
Some are pretty, some are ugly.
I had a weld cert, okay? Just like you're talking braze, use a little extra. I use a little extra. Why? Because I'd rather use a little extra and know that that joint's not going to leak
Yes.
than have to try to find a leak later and waste way more money than I'm going to on a little extra solder for sure. Like,
But we did have a guy at TD. He used a lot extra,
oh yeah, oh,
and
one of
it looked
those.
like hammered dog turds,
Well, I was going to say a lot of my welders they'd ask me
and
to
it
see a
leaked.
weld.
And it leaked.
Okay, well, I would put a weld down. And I had one, he was a welder. He ended up leaving and becoming a weld instructor. He had so
Okay,
many certs. And it was a recent one, not Joe Kelly, because
Okay.
that's probably who you're thinking at first.
Love Joe Kelly.
I do. It taught me a lot. Well, I'm welding and I put my cap down. Well, I lay down a lot of metal at a time. I don't want to do a whole bunch of passes. And the welder's like, oh my, like, whoa, you put some metal down. So, well, yeah, I don't want to have to come back and run another bead, do I? And he's just like, oh my gosh, like, dang, you could be a welder. I said, well, yeah, I could be. I don't like welding all day long.
Here's what a welder
wanna
thinks
think.
about all day long: puddle, puddle, puddle. That's it. You're moving that puddle around. That is what you think about all day, every day. I
That's it.
don't know how people do it.
It's great. Like I do enjoy welding occasionally. Like we were talking about putting some tunes in. They don't like it on a lot of job sites. But as a welder, you really want to just sit there and turn some tunes in and live in your world. So I get it.
I love it. Jess Taylor says, "Hey there, thanks for the information, Jesse. We love what we get to do, and we get to do it because of y'all. TikTok, Instagram, y'all, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. The people that jump in here, this is why we get to do what we get to do. It's for y'all. So we're continuously looking at that. So thank you for allowing us to do this. Thank you for coming here. Now, yesterday, what's the best way to handle delays caused by policy changes?
You know, like as you become aware of them, sometimes you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to shift. Like I was saying, they shut down all the pipelines. That's fine. That put a lot of welders out of work that week. But guess what? They all pivoted and they found something else to do the next week and go weld somewhere else on something else. You've got to be prepared for these things. So you want to know what's coming in the policies. Stay in tune to what's happening because when they do the policy, it d- doesn't necessarily happen right then. Usually there's a little bit of time that you get to kind of prepare. You better take advantage of that time the best you possibly can for your business and all your people.
That's huge. Okay. I mean, staying ahead of the policy. And we talk about that a lot. Communicate with your cities, communicate with your inspectors. If you're in Texas, go to the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners quarterly meetings. Go to the meeting, sit down, listen to it, and they do a Q&A. Hey, has anybody got any questions? Anybody got any comments?
Get up and ask.
It's huge, guys. So let's go down to the deep dive because I want to talk about this. How can apprentices develop better communication?
One of my favorites is role playing. Like a lot of guys would ask.
That ain't your favorite. You hate being role played.
Well, I used to be a role play gamer. Okay, like I'm a gamer, so I do like role play.
Okay.
Real world scenarios, not a whole lot, but interviews was one of my best.
Oh my God,
things.
that is huge.
And that's where I really learned how role playing can truly benefit both people.
Mhm.
Because as I moved up later, it helped as I was the one asking the questions for somebody else so that they could prep for an interview. Well, guess what? That made it better for me to ask questions as new people would come in. I had a better understanding at what thoughts went into that. Role play different scenarios. Happy customers, mad customers. Put that apprentice in that spot for a minute just to see how they react. And then after, guide them on the things they did right and what they did wrong. Try to help them move along the way that is going to benefit the company and the customers. And I think that's huge.
You know, look, what we do every day, we need to work at getting better at. And to me, I love this because the more we learn about EQ, emotional intelligence, the better we're going to be at communicating, the better we're going to be at understanding other people. And when people call you to come out and take care of their problem, they're not calling you because you're a plumber. They're not calling because they want a plumber in their house. They're not calling for anything like that. They're calling because they have an issue they want resolved. And I still remember the very first 5-star review I got. I got a call one afternoon about 3 o'clock, let's say 4 o'clock, which nobody wants a call on 3 or 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. And it's this lady calling. You can hear it in her voice. She's crying. She says, "We just bought a house. My son is there, and he says there's brown water coming up in the floor in the house. And I don't know what to do." And I mean, she's losing it. And I asked, just like I do all real estate people or buyers or sellers recently, "Did you do a sewer water test?" She said no. So literally, I show up at her house. She's still hysterical. And I looked at her, I said, "Look, I got this. Don't worry about it. There's not a problem here I can't resolve. I've got this." And that's a big deal to be able to let people know that. By the time I left 2 hours later, she's sitting back, leaned back on the couch, drinking a glass of wine, reading a book. And she's like, "You know what? Thank you for putting me at ease." Guys, EQ, emotional intelligence, communication is the most important thing we can learn. I could have started freaking out too. "Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Run, let me get out of the way. Run, move." That's not the way to handle it. Handle it better than that.
And that's funny because I was actually watching a video with the team and there was a guy that freaked out and panicked, but then he just kind of stopped and slowly did it. And they're like, "Oh my God, I'd be jumping like crazy."
bet.
I said, "Yeah, you can. But guys, once you
It's not
learn
gonna
and do
help.
that a couple times, you just got to slow down and go, okay, what are the steps I got to do to get this to stop? Fix it. Boom. Move on."
Guys, today's video was brought to you by Leak Pro. We love that Leak Pro sponsors our videos. And we invested in Leak Pro because we think it is truly, well, like it says on the screen right now, most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. Guys, I've tried other systems. And when I found Leak Pro, I knew this is the best system I've ever tried. So ever since then, we tried acquiring the company. Finally, 2 years ago, we did. And I love it. I love the fact that we've got it, that we're doing the things that we are with it. We've improved it. It's better. It is the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And if you don't know how to use it, that's great. We built a training center right here outside of Dallas, Texas, where we teach you how to use the Leak Pro system. We teach you how to find and isolate leaks in sewer systems, both PVC and cast iron. And we teach you how to market that for your business. So if you want to learn more about Leak Pro, go to www.leak-pro.com or call 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. Squirt, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.
So glad to be here. Glad to have you here and hope to see you here tomorrow.
Guys, thank each and every one of y'all for being here. Happy Whiskey Wednesday. We'll see y'all tomorrow.